Alright, hey everyone, it's Coeval here. Got another game for you, another 60 Grassy, this time versus MarcoAurelius, which is Falcos, who has been featured on this channel before. And it's a great game. I won't give anything away, but we're just going to get right into it because, yeah, I'm really excited to share this with you guys. So let's get it started. I don't get first turn here, and he flashes the draw. The reason he does flash the draw is because I haven't got first turn against him in like, I think 4 or 5 games now. So I don't know, maybe he's in communication with the developer and just getting all these first turns. But I decide, you know what, it's fine. Maybe I can, my luck can turn around here, and I can, get off to a good start. So he pulls out the Dwarf here. Dwarf has a recent buff with all the different abilities that you can use on it in the minor market. I won't go through all those. That's a topic for another video, maybe a tutorial video on Dwarf that I could do in the future. Let me know in the comments if you'd like for me to go through some of the different effects that Dwarf can use. I might wait for the next patch to do that because there's an update coming up soon. But yeah, he does pull out the Dwarf. And I don't really have a way to kill it. Pebble is a bit risky, right? There's not really an easy way to do 50 damage this early, so I decided to just mud it, put my glide out so that he can't flash me. He wants to free that Dwarf, so he uses a Blast from the Past, doesn't quite get the chance to free it. I just do a simple aura stack here, get my swarm out, kind of force him to have to respond to that. Since his dwarf's not free, he wants to come over and Blast from the Past it free. And I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot to invest to get that dwarf free. And actually it doesn't free the dwarf. There's a pixel up at the top here. Right there, where my cursor is, there's a pixel, and unfortunately the dwarf is trapped. And I'm thinking, is he really going to invest 3 BFTPs just to get a dwarf free? But I don't know exactly what his strategy is at this point. He makes a good play, trap the swarm. That's a common response. If you can't kill the swarm, then you just trap it. Force your opponent to take a turn to flash it open. You have another turn to figure out what you want to do. And he does actually go in there and free the dwarf, and so I'm like, okay, well at least I got 3 of his Blasts from the Past down. He equips light. Light increases the jump height, and just the way minor market works is you click an upgrade and it decreases the health of the dwarf, but it gives an upgrade. And so any ones that come up in this game I'll go over, but I won't go over the full minor market in this video. So you can see his jump is improved, and looks like he's gonna jump the dwarf onto me, and then I'm thinking, oh crap, he has aura, and so he's gonna stack the dwarf. And at this point I'm like, wait, he doesn't have aura, he has Death Bomb, and Death Bomb does 60 damage. Was that? Yeah, that was 60 damage. And then he's got this undead dwarf, which becomes this raptor looking thing. I believe it's called a myth. And it's at 27 health, and he just did 60 to me. He only took 15 from the aura, and at this point I'm like, dang, he's got some sort of rush book with dwarf and death bomb. All you gotta do is just stack the dwarf onto the player and death bomb next to him, and it does huge damage. And the way this myth works is you hit on contact like a water troll, it will do 30 damage to a player. So like, you just hit the player and it does 30 damage. A water troll does 5, right? But yeah, this does 30, so it's pretty overpowered. But it's not overpowered in the sense that a dwarf has very limited mobility. It can't fly around, it has a short jump. Even with light, it doesn't have a great jump. So he's able to use that mechanic though to his great advantage, get an aura stack on me, and he kicked my ass with that. It's put me in a really difficult position. I decided to just kill the dwarf. I don't want to take the 30 passive damage. If I leave the dwarf alive, the undead dwarf alive, he can just put it on top of me again and then aura stack again. Or swarm stack. He's got swarm, he's got aura, he's got death bomb. He could just throw another death bomb, just do more damage. And then I take damage from the death bomb. I take damage from getting hit by the undead dwarf. I take damage from the aura that he casted, that the death bomb produced from his first death bomb. It would just be game over if I leave that alive. So, you know, there's no way. I've got to stay alive, so the only way to do that is to tower. And at this point I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's gonna tower out. Maybe he just wants to rush me. He's actually able to get out, which I did not expect at all. So that puts me in a really difficult position here, unfortunately. But I mean, all in all, I feel like I've not made any mistakes. I mean, he's used 3 blasts from the past just to get 1 attack off. And it's just like any rush book, you know, you're going to be down health. So now it's just my job to outlast his rush and see if I can get a win. So I'm not displeased with my play at all in this game. In fact, I think I've played pretty perfectly up to this point. It's just he caught me off guard with the dwarf death bomb, mechanic. So if I knew that he had that spell, then I could have played around it a bit better. That'd be my only kind of gripe about this game so far. He drains that dwarf free, which it is free now. However, I got this sync, and I can trap his Pegasus. It's turn 8, so I can get a Dark Knight out and put huge amounts of pressure on him. Yeah, I'm down health, right? I'm 145 to 220, but when you've got Dark Knight, health doesn't matter when you can summon something that can do 250. So he whips out the Sanctuary because it's his only move. He has to tower, otherwise he's going to die. And I make a nice play here. Position the Dark Knight on him so that when he falls, the Dark Knight will trap him. So a really cool micro play. And I force him to actually use his last blast from the past. And now I'm thinking I'm in a pretty great position. So that was a pretty cool, subtle, micro play that I made there. Trap him while he's on a tower. Yeah, definitely a mechanic that you guys can use to your advantage in some games. He breaks that border because he wants to try and free his Pegasus, and maybe open up the avenue for a swarm in the future. He doesn't have a swarm now, but in the future he wants to be able to move the swarms from left to right. He does free his dwarf now. It's been free for a while, ever since he drained, but he just hasn't had an opportunity to move it around because he got flashed off afterwards. So he's trying to get up there. It doesn't look like he's able to do it, but he's going to try for the next 40 seconds or so. Realizes it doesn't quite work, and I think is just going to summon a minion here. He's got to be strategic though with the placement, because if he's not, I can just jump the Dark Knight over and kill him. Let's say I was free. I could jump onto the Pegasus, go over here, and then jump over, absorb the Swarm aura, pick my Pegasus, pick my Dark Knight up with the Pegasus, and then go kill him. But I'm not free, so I can't do that. So here instead I'm thinking, oh, maybe I want to jump my Dark Knight over and drain the Swarm. But then I thought, oh, maybe he can continue to trap the Dark Knight, or, I don't know his book exactly. Maybe he's got Mega Boulder too. Maybe he could mud it, So I didn't want to take that risk. I just decided to flash out because I still know that I can jump over and absorb the Swarm aura and do the same play. It's still possible now that I'm free. He does have this Undead Dwarf, but again, I'm picking my battles. And here I think, oh, he's used the Swarm Aura, so maybe I can actually just go over there and kill his Pegasus and maybe even trap him, or at least get great damage off. So another cool microplay here, I kind of know how far the charge will reach, and that I can go through the Pegasus and do a lot of damage to him. So I decided to do that. Unfortunately, like, the way the physics of the game works with the Dark Knight charge, like, you can just walk out. The only thing is you don't have to, you can't like move inside the Dark Knight before you walk out. So the way that he just walks out of this is he just presses Z to move left. Or you could turn your character with F and just jump out. But say he moved right, he pressed X, then he might get stuck. It's a little bit of a finicky kind of mechanic, but yeah, if you're ever stuck inside a Dark Knight, you're actually not stuck. You just don't do any movement, and you just hit a jump key, hit the high jump key, or in this case, you don't jump at all, and he just literally walks out to the left. Makes it real easy. And you'll notice how he just walked out. Again, you think, oh, you're trapped, but actually, he can just jump out or walk out if you're careful with the movement. Again, sometimes if you're not careful, you'll be trapped inside the Dark Knight, but yeah, experiment with that in Sandbox a little bit and you'll kind of get what I mean. So, I thought he was trapped, but he's not. At this point, I think he wants to hit me with that dwarf, the myth thing. It's not a dwarf anymore. And let's see. He's not really in a position to come over to me, right? Because I have a Mega Boulder. So he's deciding to drain, which is a good play. He's got to get health somehow. I make another nice micro play here. Ice Shield and escape so that he now has that myth in there that's trapped. He's never going to be able to get it out. And then here I'm thinking, oh, I can just get the health back too. But then I thought, okay, maybe he just double drains me back. And so, like, I'm not really gaining that much, and he's got a swarm out. So I'm thinking I've got to do something a little bit more, maybe not risky, but just like more impactful. I got to do either a little bit more damage or, you know, pose a little bit more of a threat somehow. So I decided to go for a pretty risky Mega Boulder, and I actually just end up throwing the most god tier Mega Boulder you've probably ever seen. Now, okay, you may argue, well, you know, that wasn't that hard, you were so close to him. But honestly, to be able to kill the swarm and aim it like near the ice shield there, and then kill the swarm, and the fact that it doesn't bounce off to the right, like, that's pretty tricky to be able to do. So I was proud of that Mega. A lot of people just wouldn't attempt that because it's too risky, but paid off for me here. Problem is, I still have to win the game. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, I just gotta rush him. He's at 44. I've got a blast from the past left. Excuse me. So I'll just pebble here. And again, he's forced to kind of respond in some way or another. I've got a Dark Knight out to the right here. Maybe he can glide and side hide. Maybe he can tree the Pegasus and myself somehow. He decides to tree me and positions himself so that the Pegasus can't get over, which is pretty genius. But I in fact have Rain of Fire and I'm able to kill him. And this is the final microplay that I feel like is a great play that not a lot of people know about. How to aim Rain of Fire to do 50 damage, because it will do 25 if I didn't aim that right. So the first thing that I did is I moved the Pegasus over to him, and the reason is if I don't move the Pegasus over, only one fireball will hit him, the rest of the fireballs will hit the mud below him. So I know that I need 2 fireballs to hit. I need the AoE damage to, you know, take effect, the area of effect damage. So I put the Pegasus there so that I can aim the Rain of Fire, and the AoE damage will hit him instead of just, you know, the fireball to the left just falling and hitting the mud below him. So the way I aimed it is, if you guys don't know this about Rain of Fire, you basically just click the character and one fireball will hit him. It'll do 25 damage. So I know this, and I know that if I move the cursor to the left a bit, so I aimed like at the 9 on the Pegasus, probably roughly, and you'll see I'll try to, yeah, I'll pause it, that's perfect. So I aimed, this third fireball will hit the cursor wherever you aim. So if I hit that fireball, and I aimed it on his head, the third one would go on his head. Because I know this and I roughly know how far away each fireball is, I aim that cursor to the left of him a little bit, you know, on the 9 or the 2 of the Pegasus. The Pegasus had 29 health, so just referring to that as kind of a benchmark. So I aim around the 2 or the 9 of the Pegasus, and I know that the AoE will do some damage. You can see that it did. It brought him from 43 to 12, and then I know that this fireball to the right of him will also hit and finish him off. So a pretty subtle way to end the game, kind of a play that I don't think many people know about to maximize the damage of your Rain of Fire. Pretty much a perfect game on my end. A lot of great plays that I made, from that Mega Boulder to the Rain of Fire to dealing with the Ice Shield, and just being able to outlast his Death Bomb. Choosing to kill his Myth immediately was definitely the play. So I hope you guys enjoyed this this great match, and yeah, like I said, that AoE is able to kill him and I'm able to get the victory. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.